We're going to talk about, and I'm going to get to them real quick. So one of the things that I've been noticing, I haven't seen House of Gucci yet, but what are the things that people are talking about on House of Gucci? Lady Gaga, she's got this bad Italian accent. Everybody in the show, they're not even really Italian, and they're talking about accents, and it made me think. It made me think about a greater issue, a greater thing that's going on. Let me see if I can find it. The question is, okay, so do I believe that it's important that if you're going to represent a certain culture or a demographic on screen, should the actor, the voice actor, or the actor on screen represent that demographic? For the most part, I'm going to say yes. There has been, but when it comes to like things like a white man who is not Italian doing an Italian accent, it's like, okay, are we splitting hairs? Or should we have gotten an authentic Italian actor to play a certain character? You got to remember, Hollywood is a business. And I feel like actors, back in the day, like having, like in the 80s and the 90s, having Will Smith, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, having them headline your movie, that would increase the ticket sales. But that isn't the way the world works nowadays. You can have the most famous actor headlining a movie, and that movie can flop. So what's more important? Representation or trying to sell the ticket? It depends. It's a case-by-case basis. You got situations where, like, for example, let's talk about it real quick. Mario, for example. Chris Pratt was just announced that he was going to be the voice of Super Mario in the upcoming Mario movie. Now, the major question that nobody was asking, by the way, was, is he going to do an Italian accent? Is he going to do an Italian accent? Why are you worried about this? Because I'm going to tell you right now, nobody was really worried about this. Nobody was thinking about this. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see if I can find it. I don't think I can find it. I don't have it up. No. Nobody was worried about this right here. Will Chris Pratt do a Super Mario Brothers proper from Nintendo Japan, who did that stereotypical accent of an Italian plumber? It's me, a Mario. Was Chris Pratt going to do this? Why are you asking this question? That's my question. Why are you asking this? Because, and we got comments coming in, it's oversensitive, people being hypocritical, people will complain about representation 1 minute and then not care the next. Exactly. And not care the next. Let me tell you something. Would it be offensive? Yeah, okay, yes, I agree, yes. Chris Pratt would get up there and be like, woohoo, woohoo, it's me, a Mario. Yeah, it would be offensive, especially in today's society. But why would you think that would happen? Let me take you back to the Super Mario Brothers video game Super Mario Brothers TV show that was in the 90s. Did he do an Italian accent? That stereotypical, it's me. Did he do that? No. They didn't do. And you know the funny thing about it was, they probably wasn't even thinking about it. They were like, I'm not going to do that shit. Just say the lines the way you would normally say the lines. I think that actor that played that voice of us, I think he was a wrestler. a real life wrestler. I think he was in the video with Madonna, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I forgot his name. I'm not going to look it up real quick. If you know him in the chat, like and subscribe and then let me know what's his name, that actor that voiced Mario in the intro. Yes, he did. Check the end. No, I've seen those Super Mario Brother video games. He talked normally. Did he do it in the intro? Check. He did it. Yes. Okay. We see what you're saying. Yes, he did. Check out the intro of it. The intro. Okay. I'll concede. Because I don't remember. I will concede that. Maybe he did do it in the intro. But check every episode. Did he go, and Luigi, we need to go and save the princess? Did he do that? No. He talked normally. So I will concede he probably did it in the intro or whatever of the cartoon. But the rest of the cartoon, he talked normally. Because he was like, he ain't got time for that shit. So in House of Gucci, we're talking about how in House of Gucci, they were like, the accents were done very badly. Let's fast forward it to today. Recently, the movie House of Gucci came out with Lady Gaga and whatnot. And Lady Gaga, so we don't argue too much about it, is Italian. Her father's Italian, her mother's Italian. All right? And they were getting on her about her accent. But here's the interesting thing about it. Let's have some fun real quick, guys. Check this out. Lady Gaga's Italian accent dissed by the House of Gucci dialogue coach on Ridley Scott's much anticipated House of Gucci film has admitted that Lady Gaga didn't exactly nail her character's Italian accent in the film. She says, I feel bad saying this, but they always feel bad. But her accent is not exactly an Italian accent. It sounds more Russian. Italian actress and dialect coach Francesca De Martini told the Daily Beast of Gaga's voice impression of Fabrizia Reganiani, who famously hired a hitman to murder her ex-husband Maurizio Gucci in 1995, said straight up that the accent wasn't all that great, and everybody was getting on it. I saw people on Facebook and whatnot saying like why are they getting these people who are not Italian to play these Italian characters? And it was like, dude, look it up. Like Lady Gaga is of Italian heritage. Her accent, it might be dog water, which is weird. Because from what I understand about Italians is like their accents are pretty on point, but like even if you're not even born and raised, but like what was going on with her accent? I would think that being an Italian woman, she would, but obviously she's not as connected because Awkwafina, that was a big issue that came up recently in the news. She was doing some press junkets and being interviewed about how she became famous from doing a black accent in her shows and her upcoming like as she was an upcoming star from her hip hop career and whatnot, and how she spoke. But if you notice, ever since she got signed with Disney, she wasn't really talking like that anymore. I don't know much about Awkwafina. I know a lot about a little and little about a lot of things, but I've seen a couple clips of her doing that Blaccent a couple times. But I still find it funny that she stopped doing it the second she was signed with Disney. Raya and the Last Dragon and then Shang-Chi and whatnot. She ain't talking like that. Every other thing that she did, she was pretty much what it do, Playboy, But when she got signed with Disney, Bob Iger was like, You better cut that shit out. And it's, I find it very suspect that when she's asked about it, she has nothing really to say. And they say that she commented on it. She didn't make a comment on it. She didn't. She was word salad. She didn't say nothing really about it. She hasn't addressed it. She's afraid to apologize, because if you apologize, you're admitting guilt, and you're afraid to losing sponsors and what. She is now getting work. Did she do a Blaccent? Yes, she did. And with what's going on in the black community, so there was an article that came out, and let me get myself on the screen real quick. Sorry about that. Boom, there I am. Okay, so what Hollywood movies do to perpetuate racial stereotypes? And it got deep, dude. Okay, cinematic stereotypes reflect a shaped common prejudice. Perceptions can be influenced by portrayals of Asian as nerdy, black men as dangerous, and Latinas as fiery. So how does Hollywood portray various groups? Hollywood is notorious for doing all these things, and it's gone under the table for so long that nobody really even thinks about it, whatnot. Let's continue on with this article. In recent years, there has been increased attention on racial and sexism in Hollywood films, which can be reflected in who acts in front of the camera, who directs behind it, and how people are represented on screen, and often all three. To illustrate how stereotypes have developed in Hollywood, DW analyzed tropes used in more than 6,000 Oscar eligible movies since 1928. This is from DW.com. Hollywood history provides many examples of racist caricatures. Black and Asian people have been repeated targets. Take the 1961 Andre Hepburn movie Breakfast at Tiffany's, and the bucktooth Mr. Nuishoshi, whose stereotypical English accent was intended to mock Japanese people. He is notorious, and there are so many more examples. Right here, from recent, just as recent as Doctor Strange, the whole thing about the Sorcerer Supreme being played by a white woman, which was a character that was Asian. It's crazy, and it's gotten better, but it's a problem for a lot of situations. People are going to feel like there's going to be a movie that's going to be made that people are going to feel like is innocent enough where they don't even think that they're doing something bad, but they're going to stumble upon that you stepped on a whole culture and you didn't even realize it, and you're going to get canceled like a mug. Like, representation is a big thing now. It's something that people are not playing with now. Do I believe that if an actor is playing a character who is who's like, if a person is playing a character who's the character is in a wheelchair and they cannot walk, do I need to get an actual what's the word, paraplegic, a person who cannot walk, to act in the movie to play that character? No. Not if I can get one of the top actors who fits the role to pretend to be a paraplegic or whatever, or a person who can't walk, and to be in the role. It's called acting. But If a move, if the situation was about a certain heritage and a lineage and a certain movie about a certain group, black or Asian or Hispanic, would it be better to get black or Asian or Hispanic actors or writers of people who know what the hell they're talking about? Hell yes. One brush, you can't paint across the whole thing. There's a case by case basis, and people are always trying to fit every scenario, make and say like every scenario is all the same. It's not, the scenario. Every situation is going to be different. It's going to be case by case. Should Emma Stone have played that Hawaiian or Asian character? I forgot what movie it was. I didn't see it. No, she probably should not have. Should Scarlett Johansson have been in Ghost in the Shell? Hell no. Should all those white people have played in Avatar? Hell no. I'm like, for real. I'm like. You gotta, nowadays, you gotta know what's going on in the world. But can a white person who is technically of Irish descent or whatever, European descent or whatnot, can he play an Italian person or a British person pretend to be a American from the South? Hell yeah. But I digress. I mean, let me know what you think. Maybe you feel differently. Maybe you feel differently. But I feel like these examples make sense. Let me keep going. A trope that began to appear more frequently in the 1960s and 1970s. TV tropes called the mighty whitey mellow yellow dynamic. A powerful white main character with a submissive Asian love interest. Before the 1950s, strict self-censored in U.S. cinema forbade romantic pairing between people of different ethnicities. Right there. People are always bitching about how there is an agenda to make things woke or an agenda to make things interracial or an agenda. No. There was a legit on paper agenda to make things all white. It's right here. It's right here reported. You can't do it if it's interracial. You can't do it if a black guy is in the lead or whatever. The things that you are seeing now are to tear down what was established, the actual agendas that were put in Hollywood since day freaking one. But the whole thing about like Awkwafina, Super Mario Brothers, Gucci, accents. Representation physically is one thing. Accents is another. Or is it the same thing? It can be very complicated, but at the same time, it can be very simple. When you produce a movie, you want anybody who's producing a movie, you're not producing a movie because you just like to produce movies. When you're producing a movie, you want to make money. Your goal is to make money. So you get an actor or you get the director or whoever, you want to capitalize and you want to put the best product out there. So Scarlett Johansson and all these other actors and stuff like they were cast because these were producers who were just trying to get their money back. They wanted to get the return on their investment. Would the movie have been made? Would the movie have done better? Ghost in the Shell, for example, with an unknown Asian actor or a very well-known Asian actor to portray the character. Even though Scarlett Johansson was at the time the most famous female actress in Hollywood at the time. I mean, that's just hindsight situation. We won't know. But seeing the way the world is going today, you're better off. You got a black character in your cartoon and he's being voiced by a white man, you better replace that dude right now. Because representation is important to a lot of people nowadays. And you just don't want those types of problems. And on top of that, this is me personally, I feel that it just makes more sense. We've had all these movies and we've had these shows being told from one point of view for all these years. If we didn't keep going if we kept going in that same path, we wouldn't have had a great cartoon film like Coco, Moana, Encanto. I'll just name 3 Disney movies. I'll just stick with that for a second. That's why it's important. That's why representation is important. Because it gives us I don't want to be told the same story over and over again. I want something different. That's why I wouldn't mind a black Superman or whatnot. Because if it didn't work, Michael B. Jordan sucks as Superman, then I still got Christopher Reeves. I still got Henry Cavill. They don't disappear because a black dude did it. It don't change nothing. So I'm looking forward to what's coming out in the future. Thank you for talking to the medias with me. And until next time, peace.
Our supporters help make all this content possible, so make sure you check out our Patreon page so you can help us bring you the content you want.
Push the pedal to the freaking metal. I'm turned up just like heavy metal. Yo. Turned up on another level. Push the pedal to the freaking metal. I turned up just like heavy metal.